On the ground in Ukraine, civilian casualties continue to mount as Russian forces intensify attacks across the country. Kyiv says Moscow has fired 130 missiles over the last 4 days alone. In the key eastern battleground city of Lysychansk, the Luhansk governor has reported that there was fighting everywhere. He accused Moscow of indiscriminately using every weapon available to conduct a scorched-earth policy. Further south in Russian-controlled Kherson, the mayor of the Black Sea port city near annexed Crimea has reportedly been detained for refusing to follow Moscow's orders. Russian state news agency TASS says the region is preparing for a referendum on joining Russia. Meanwhile, Britain's defense ministry says there is a realistic possibility that Russian missiles that hit a crowded mall in central Ukraine on Monday may have been meant for another nearby target. The attack on civilians has drawn global outrage and condemnation, with Mr. Zelensky calling on the UN Security Council to expel Russia for being a terrorist state. And Kieran McQuillan joins us live from Lviv. Kieran, Indonesian President Joko Widodo is the first Asian leader to visit Kyiv. Do we know if he has already met with President Zelensky and what has been said if he has done so?
We do not know if he... We do not know if he's already met with President Zelensky. He has arrived there in the capital, Kyiv. We do know that. He has posted on his Twitter that he's been already to the suburb of Irpin. This seems to be one of the trails that a lot of these leaders going to Kyiv do. They go to Irpin, to Bucha, to look at the aftermath of the Russian pullout when they pulled out their forces there from around Kyiv. He had to undergo an 11-hour train journey to get in, which is the usual way now that these world leaders get into Kyiv. But for security reasons, the details of his meeting with President Zelensky have been embargoed, so we won't find out possibly until after that meeting has taken place. President Widodo, as you mentioned, is coming from the G7 summit and is the chairman of the G20 summit. And there's a summit coming up in Bali later this year, which Moscow may attend in some shape or form, as its membership of G20 entitles it to. Indonesia is a member of the non-aligned movement, formed there in 1955 in the Indonesian city of Bandung. And that's what the Indonesians say they're bringing to this, the neutrality of President Widodo. He's a neutral figure in this conflict, and perhaps he might be able to mediate between both sides. But he's also the first leader of the developing world and the first Asian leader, as you mentioned, to be meeting with both President Zelensky and President Putin. And food security is bound to be a major issue on the table. Ukraine supplied most of the wheat to Indonesia before this war started. And there's also a question mark over whether or not President Putin will actually be hosted at this G20 summit that's coming up in Bali in November.
Oh, Kieran, new footage released of Monday's missile strike on a mall in Kremenchuk. And of course, as we mentioned just before we crossed to you, Britain's defense ministry is saying that that might not have been the intended target. Russia has denied responsibility. Any details on this?
Well, of course, you know, this is a digital age and there's CCTV footage everywhere, and some very startling CCTV footage has emerged of the missile itself just seconds before it strikes that mall, and also CCTV footage from a park nearby where a second missile struck what the Ukrainians say is a disused factory that is now used to store agricultural parts. Now, from that CCTV footage, we've been able to discern, or military analysts have been able to discern, that this is a KH-22 missile that was used in this attack. It's fired from supersonic bombers. They have to go into a steep dive, in fact, to deliver that warhead. But they are known to have low accuracy. They were originally designed in the 1960s to attack aircraft carriers, and they're known for low accuracy and high speed. Now, they were used, as I said, to hit aircraft carriers. So perhaps this could have been an unsuccessful strike at infrastructure, which veered off course due to maybe a faulty guidance system or some sort of other low accuracy element. But also it could be that this is just what President Zelensky has said, that these attacks are designed to provoke terror amongst the Ukrainians. Whatever, these weapons are not supposed to be used in urbanized areas against some of the conventions to do with the use of weapons in war.
Oh, thanks so much for all those updates. Kieran McQuillan speaking to us there from Lviv.